Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Xinfin Network, aka XDC. So let's just dive in. And let's start off with this tweet here that I tweeted out at the end of January. I said I actually believe XDC is next to break out. And then I followed this up with a chart of the Bitcoin pair here. And I did say 332 days of XDC's Bitcoin pair just consolidating sideways like this. A big move is brewing, but in what direction is the big question? What do you think happens next? Now, as we actually look at the XDC price chart, let's actually go look at the coin market cap listing real quick. So as we look at this, it's sitting at about 3.5 cents. This is actually doing very, very good so far. Trading volume up about 110%, which you love to see as well, sitting at number 85 on CMC. But the problem that I do have with this price move is the Bitcoin pair. So yes, I've been looking at the Bitcoin pair. So I was initially starting it off back here in March. So if we actually look at March, so I was pretty much looking at this area here. Technically speaking, you can go off of the February timeframe when we actually officially hit the bottom down here. So this has been consolidating sideways for about 383 days now. But as you do see, we actually broke down well below what I was anticipating us going below. I would like to have held this area, but we are still back in it. We had some wicks down below it. I want to see a lot more strength on the Bitcoin pair, but the problem is that with Bitcoin dominance as high as it is, I am a little bit risk off on altcoins right now. Meaning, guess what? I'm not really focusing on altcoins right now. Simply because I do think that Bitcoin is going to steal the show. And again, if you guys did follow anything that I've mentioned on this channel in the past, specifically whenever I do look at the dominance and how dominance does work with altcoins, then you would understand that even though Bitcoin's price is going up, with Bitcoin dominance, altcoins could still get tossed down. It just means that, guess what? People are selling their altcoins to jump into Bitcoin, and liquidity is basically just moving into Bitcoin to help the run up. But don't worry, because guess what? Once Bitcoin does have an exhausted run up, money moves from Bitcoin into Ethereum into altcoins, just like we've always seen in the past. And I definitely do think that XDC has a very bright future ahead, but in the short term, I wouldn't get too antsy to jump into XDC because right now on the weekly, as you do see where we are at price-wise, we are testing a significant resistance zone. The last time that we did retest this, we rejected off of it pretty heavily. So I'm watching right now on this price move to the upside. I know that this has been exciting to see. I mean, if you did buy the low back in December, then hey, you are up pretty substantially, up about 90.5% or so. As we do look at the Bitcoin price chart though for this thing, even the weekly, right? Looking at the weekly, it is still trading sideways. So this price move that we're actually seeing on the USD chart really isn't anything to write home about, because we are still kind of just trailing sideways in a downtrend. This will probably continue trailing down until we actually get that breakout above, which we've seen quite a bit in terms of most altcoin patterns. But I'm watching this one closely, waiting for us to either break out of resistance and possibly go much higher. I mean, one, I've been looking at like the daily. I've also been looking at the 3-day span. On the 3-day span, I'm looking at 4 cents. If you want to go to like the monthly span and look at even higher price action, again, like 4 cents still remains the target point. But if you want to go back to a demand zone, then you're looking at anywhere between like 5.5 cents to possibly even 6 cents on Xinfin in the short term to retest a significant demand zone. And I do think that once we do retest up there, we probably question on, okay, is this thing going to make a new all-time high or what's going to happen here? So I'm looking at the higher time frames, but I'm also looking at the lower time frames. I'm just waiting to see if we do get that retest of 4 cents or if we reject off of resistance like we've had in the past. But I also am very concerned with the Bitcoin pair because it is very weak. And we've even seen this pattern with other altcoins like even QNT, that a lot of people think that, oh, it's never going below $100. Well, guess what? The Bitcoin pair for it does look very weak. With Bitcoin dominance as high as it is, any pullback would basically decimate altcoins in the short term. So we're definitely still focused on that price-wise, but let's go into fundamentals. Let's actually talk about what just recently happened around Xinfin, and let's talk about what could be happening this year. So one, Impel. So Impel posted this tweet over on Twitter, and we do see we are thrilled to participate in the ICC UAE Trade Tech Transformation Challenge, showcasing our ISO 20022 payments rail for instant settlement over XDC network, XDC DLT blockchain in UAE. And if we read here, so we do see Trade Transformation and Technology Global Trade Facilitation Summit Dubai 2023, the ICC Trade Tech Transformation Challenge. Show me what you've got, contestants. So there's a few here. China Systems, Impel, Money Move, sorry, and Trade Assets. So these are the main four that are here. I do believe that if we look at Impel and what Xinfin is doing, they are going to become the leader around this. But I also love to see them participating in challenges like this with the ICC. Remember, we recently just broke down ICC in a video recently, and the ICC UAE, this is a small account, by the way. This was, this is one that just kind of gets overlooked. But if you actually go over to their website and if you go to their About section, you could see just how large this actually is. First off, they are focused on developing the new, and I would say the main efficient trade finance system that is basically becoming a reality, aka digitizing trade finance. But we do see ICC UAE is the national committee of the International Chamber of Commerce with an office in Dubai and international headquarters in Paris. ICC UAE commissions represent, support, and protect business interests within the United Arab Emirates. It pushes forward policies and practices that expedite the expansion of trade and business within the UAE, the region, and the world. And remember, by the way, as I just recently talked about the UAE, they want to become a leader around crypto. So why wouldn't they want to be a leader within trade finance? But we do see it engages with the global network of the World Business Organization in developing rules and standards that facilitate international trade and development, promotes the United Arab Emirates as a global crossroads and hub connecting creating trade linkages across the globe. They also provide a global gateway for companies from SME trades or traders to global multinational companies to reach new markets with our global reach and local expertise. And if you want to go check out their membership, you guys are more than welcome to go check out their membership over on their website. There is some very large names tied to this. I really do think that this is great for Xinfin. I think that this is incredible. And by the way, there's 18 pages of members tied to this. But I do think that this is great. Exposure is always great. Allowing for these technologies to be shined on is great. I think that as we look at the DLT world, as we look at trade finance as well, it's extremely overlooked. I think that even Xinfin is extremely overlooked. I think that that's the main reason why, this thing isn't at a $10 billion or $20 billion market cap. XRP, for example. Everyone loves XRP because, it's going after this and that market, and it's $100 trillion plus, and it's this, like, trade finance is still a very large market, and the last time I checked, Xinfin, or XDC, is really the only main blockchain technology within the space that is focused on that market. So I do think that they're going to become a leader within that area. And also we did see over here from the Xinfin official account, developers at ETH Dubai conferences Track 1 Auditorium are getting a first-hand understanding of XDPOS 2.0. I just talked about XDC 2.0 and its enhanced speed, security, and scalability features thanks to XDC Network Protocol Engineer and Lightning presentation. And if you actually look at this, so here is the backdrop. So let me open these two in a new tab real quick. So one, XDC 2.0, more secure and faster, state-of-the-art Byzantine security. Secure even when 1/3 of the master nodes turn rogue. Super fast transaction finalization. Merely 3 blocks for transaction finalization. Built-in forensic monitoring, attacker slash with evidence guaranteed. And then also, intro to XDC from XDC 1.0 to 2.0 forensic monitoring, XDC subnet. So we're getting close, very close to XDC 2.0, and I think that this is going to be that big change in scenery around Xinfin. Remember what I said in my video talking about XDC 2.0? These upgrades are huge, especially for more network growth and also more dApps to be built out on the network that do demand a lot more scalability and things like that. I personally love to see this. And also, it does give us a little bit of an insight on just how consistent the growth is and building there is, as well as Xinfin. Again, love to see it. I think that this is great. And I do also want to mention that we've seen an article get posted at the beginning of this month as well, which I do think that I shouldn't say could, but I do think that is helping exposure for Xinfin. And that was this article that got posted back in the beginning of March, and it's basically saying XDC Network, the blockchain revolutionizing trade finance. So as I did mention, trade finance is one of those markets that I do think that just gets overlooked. I think that a lot of people are kind of bored by it. They don't want to really listen into what trade finance is actually, doing and how large it actually is. But as we do focus on this, we do see trade finance is a centuries old industry, and the processes involved haven't really changed much since the 19th century. Like many other industries that rely on antiquated, slow, cumbersome, and manual processes, there's a massive opportunity to revolutionize trade finance with blockchain technology. Now, they do mention a lot of the problems within it, including replacing the opaque, complex web of transactions with a transparent and immutable record. Blockchain also has the potential to disintermediate supply chains and significantly reduce the number of checks, customs, etc., that an international shipment has to undergo. And here we have from the co-founder of XDC Network, tokenization and digital assets bring various benefits to the legacy paper-based trade finance industry. Cross-border sensitive data related to trade finance transactions can be turned into non-sensitive tokens for the SMMEs, aka micro, small, and medium enterprises, corporates, and also lenders to enable data sharing across borders by complying with laws of the land. Tokenization of trade instruments brings liquidity from alternative asset investors to the trade finance market, which is why, again, we do focus on this quite a bit. I think that tokenization is unlocking a lot more liquidity than most people actually think. And we do see down here, there's a lot of opportunity for any blockchain that can successfully solve these issues in trade finance. According to Deloitte in 2015, let's take a step back. That's 8 years ago now. Alone, the trade finance market was worth more than $10 trillion. Think about that. Think about that. $10 trillion back in 2015. We do see one of the blockchains that focus specifically on the highly lucrative trade finance space that gets extremely overlooked is Xinfin's XDC network. In the remainder of this article, we'll take a look at what XDC is and how it works, which we already went over this many times in the past, but here's that 2.0 move. I just outlined this back in my video from the other day. I don't think I need to go over it for you guys, but if you want to go check it out, you guys are more than welcome to check out my last video on XDC. Mainly what I do want to focus on is just the offering here. So, with Trade Tech as a partnership as well, there's also other trade finance projects that are built out on Xinfin, like Trade Phoenix, for an example. Trade Phoenix is a huge one that I don't think a lot of people actually know about. Trade Phoenix was one of the most original projects that were built out on XDC, and they are still doing some pretty large things within trade finance, utilizing the XDC network. And here you guys have what is Trade Phoenix. Well, it's basically a decentralized platform for trade finance originators to distribute deals to a wide range of banks or non-bank funders. So this is a big one as well. I think that this is a very cool platform. I also think that these projects are great, especially if you actually look at what's happening around trade finance. And also, this is a big one that does have a partnership with Abu Dhabi Global Market, which they are expanding through trade finance digitization as well. But down here, we also do see Impul as one, another one, Storks, which is a decentralized cloud storage solution, and also partnerships. And this is where the big picture comes into place. So yes, there's an XDC and R3 Corda bridge that's already happening. This is a public bridge with settlement coin for R3's DLT Corda through XDC. ITFA, huge one. Also, they don't even mention the DNI here. They also don't even mention the TFDI. But also they do mention copper, which copper is one that I don't think a lot of people know about, but we did do a report on it in previous old videos. Copper is a pretty cool one because that's institutional grade custody. So very cool partnerships. And I do think that the final thoughts down here are they're great. I think that this really kind of gives us a little bit of an insight on just how large XDC could be if they are successful, I should say, in disrupting trade finance, which again, as one of the only blockchain projects within the space doing this and focusing on this market, I do think that they will be successful. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What do you guys think? Do you think that XDC will be successful in disrupting trade finance? Do you think that they could grasp at least 1% of that market? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So, with all of that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. It's just up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this before. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.